All right. I'm just gonna start the show, guys. It's already
All right.
late.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sunday night here on June 9th, 2024. We got the Malapert Smark Wrestling Podcast. We're here to talk wrestling. I got Vlad, the wrestling expert. I got Robert, the frozen Asian. Our two
What's up?
mainstays. That was Robert. Thank you, Robert, for being on. Thank you, Vlad, for being on. I appreciate it, man. I've had a frustrating day, honestly. So
Yes.
I'm ready to just talk about some wrestling. Oh, I didn't even change the name of the show. Let me do that while I tell you about my terrible day. This is episode number 114 now. We've done 114 of these. And we're going to cover 1 week of wrestling this week from Monday the 3rd to Sunday the 9th today. Monday, June 3rd to June 9th. So the way I think of a week, I've always thought of a week like Monday through Sunday. You know, I don't know, in some other places or in some countries, like Monday is the start of the week or Sunday is the start of the week, I guess. Technically on the calendar, Sunday is the start of a full week. But I think it's Monday to Sunday because you do the work week, you do Monday through Friday usually,
Right.
and then you have the weekends off. So, and then in terms of wrestling, you start at Monday Night Raw, and then you go all the way
wrestling.
till the pay-per-view. Yeah, if there's a PLE or a pay-per-view on a Saturday or Sunday, so that's at the weekend.
In terms of wrestling, Monday's definitely the first day of the week.
Yes.
Yes, so I start at Monday on our show here. That's how we've been doing it the past few weeks to cover WWE and AEW. We're talking wrestling, okay? We've been doing this podcast for over a year. Honestly, I can't believe that it's come this far, that we've been doing this long. Like, it's always on my mind, like, how long can we possibly keep this up? Because it's not easy. You know, and here's my opportunity to complain here early on the show. Less viewers listen to these long-form 2-hour podcasts that we do. More people are just listening to little segments. But I suspect that many people won't be listening to this part in particular. Maybe, who knows? But, you know, you hear it a lot from YouTubers. I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels, and a lot of them complain on their little posts. They say, you know, I'm burnt out or it's not easy. And it's not easy, man. It's true. Doing YouTube and trying to make content, it's kind of frustrating, especially when you have a fucking job that you have to go to. I have a job, you know, I spend most of my time at my fucking job trying to make rent money. You know, otherwise I would be watching wrestling. And a lot of the comments we get are not even fucking nice comments. Like last week we got a comment like, where's the rest of the match? That wasn't even the finish. I'm like, dude, what are we supposed to do? Watch every fucking match like completely and review every match? Like, dude, we don't have time for that. We just don't.
Where's the rest of the match? Go watch it yourself. What are you talking about? Go watch it here.
This is not supposed to be a show where we're showing the whole match. This is a review show. You are supposed to have fucking seen it already. Go watch Dynamite and Raw from this week and Smackdown, and we're going to talk about it a little bit now. If you're expecting to see the whole goddamn show, that's not going to happen. We're not even supposed to be using any clips. And then other people complain that it's too small. That's zoom in, okay? You can zoom in, and also we're not allowed to play the whole video really big, so that's the best we could do. But, you know, my point is we're not getting very much love from the wrestling community here on the internet. Out of 80,000 views we've had so far, maybe only like 5-6 comments that have actually been like nice, telling us that they appreciate our work.
Oh,
Most of them are asshole people. I work a lot. Also, now I have a girlfriend, so on my weekends I want to spend time with her. And, you know, I choose my girlfriend over the wrestling, to be honest. If that's me being not loyal to wrestling, fine. I'm not being loyal to wrestling because, honestly, wrestling hasn't been loyal to us for very long stretches of time. There have been many, many years, large chunks of time, many companies that wrestling has just sucked. They haven't given us what we wanted. We know what we want. They know what we want. They know what good wrestling is, but they just haven't fucking given it to us. WWE, when they had the whole market to themselves, now AEW is competing with them, but they haven't given us what we want. So I'm not going to spend my whole goddamn day watching wrestling. And we don't have the time to review every single wrestling match. And then today, I was at work, and Sundays are usually pretty slow, and my managers aren't there. So I catch up on my wrestling, to, talk about it on today's show. But for no goddamn good reason, my manager was there all day today. And I was like, oh my God. Like, for real, I've worked there for like 2 years now, and she's never there on a Sunday. For no fucking reason. I don't know. I think she was just hanging out. She has nothing to do. No hobbies. But anyways, I was all pissed about it all day. I didn't prepare enough. I would always like to prepare more for our weekly podcast, but what can I do? I can't spend as much time as I'd like on it, so we just got to start recording. This is the time that we're gathering, so let's do it with whatever we've seen, I guess. And I know you guys have jobs and lives too, but I assume you've watched some of this week. What's the situation, Vlad? Have you watched out of Raw and Smackdown and Dynamite? What have you watched?
I think I generally saw everything. How much I remember from it or what sticks out, I guess we'll see.
All right. Robert, what about you?
I watched Raw and most of Dynamite. There were parts that I was busy and I missed like some segments on Dynamite. Smackdown, I didn't see at all. And this time around, I didn't get spoiled on anything that happened this past Smackdown. So I literally know nothing about what happened.
Oh my God. All right. Well, let's start with Raw then. I'm only going to cover 3 angles here from Raw. This was Monday, June 3rd, so I'm starting with Liv and Dominic Mysterio. And last week, here's Liv Morgan coming out. She beat Becky Lynch in a steel cage match last week. Once again, Dominic was out there.
And gentlemen, please welcome.
Let me turn that down. Dominic was out there trying to help Becky to protect the honor of his mommy or his girlfriend or whatever ambiguous thing it is that he has between him and Rhea. But he's trying to get vengeance for Rhea and cost her the world title, but he fucked up and she ended up keeping the world title. And so she's out here to brag about it. Oh, and the other thing that happened last week was that she kissed him. And she kissed Dominic. Yeah, and that was like a big deal. The whole internet was freaking out. All the people who are in love with Liv Morgan was freaking out. And the speculation was that obviously in the storyline, it's going to have something to do with Rhea Ripley when she comes back and what's going to happen between all of them. Dominic comes out. And, of course, the crowd does their thing where they don't let him talk and they boo over him and stuff. When he gets in the ring,
she's going to kill you.
He says Rhea's going to kill you when she comes back. To that, Liv responded,
Maybe, but she's probably going to kill you, too.
That is true.
Do you know what, though? I promise I'll make it all worth it.
So Liv Morgan is going to come on to Dominic Mysterio really hard here. She's trying to take, according to her, everything from Rhea Ripley, and that includes Dominic. What do you think, Vlad? Analyze this scene.
Analyze the scene? Okay. No. What are we analyzing?
I'll tell you what I'm analyzing. I'm analyzing that Dominic is not getting out of the ring. He needs to run away. If he's loyal to another girl, he can't just stand there and act like uncomfortable. And then Finn Balor comes in, which was hilarious.
Yeah. This one.
And he had to be the older brother and say, no, he's with someone. Get the hell out of here. She gets one last swipe in when she's about to leave, see? And Dominic pulls his head away from her while she's like touching his head. But yeah, she was feeling up on him pretty good.
Sure.
He smiled there for a second too.
I guess. When they slow motioned it, it looked like he smiled. When they went to the back, here's the meeting Judgment Day had regarding what just happened.
No, I didn't do anything. That's the problem. You didn't do anything. I'm telling you, you're playing with fire. Don't get burned.
Hey guys.
You see, that's exactly what I said. I'm gonna pause it right there. Finn Balor was the mature older guy here. You didn't do anything. You can't just not do anything. Like if you're married to someone or you're with someone, or wind it back to where we were when she was like creeping up on him. He's got to have his hands back. You got to do this a little bit at first. Like, oh, whoa. And then when she starts getting closer, he should have just ducked out of the ring and left. That's all I'm saying. You know, coincidentally, before I let you guys talk, I'll tell you guys one more story.
Okay.
I was at the bar on Friday. I took Laura out on Friday, and some chick that I used to know comes up to me to talk to me. And this chick, you know, she blocked my ass. I guess I didn't text her back one night. I fell asleep. Like, we were talking for a while. And then she blocked me. And then now she's all coming up to me like Liv Morgan basically. And I had to be like, whoa, no, I'm with someone now. You know what I mean? And I was like, no, not gonna happen. Straight up.
Wow.
Gotcha.
So Dominic Mysterio here, Finn Balor mentioned too, you didn't do anything. You can't just stand there and not do nothing.
Finn,
Right.
I can't help that women are into me. You know, I didn't do anything. That's the problem. You didn't do anything. I'm telling you, dude, you're playing with fire. Don't get...
You're playing with fire.
Hey,
Yep.
guys.
He knows what Rhea's gonna do about this.
You want to explain to me what happened?
Here comes Damien.
Situation's taken care of. We're all good.
Oh, it's taken care of. Is that true?
Yeah, like you said.
Nice. How about Rhea? Does she think it's taken care of?
I'm giving her some space, but everything's fine.
Okay, cool. I hope it works out.
I hope it works out.
Now, guys,
All right, well, they move on to other business they have. Vlad, you want to make any comments so far, or do you think I should finish off the rest of the angle for the night? Because there's more to this at this.
Oh yeah. I mean, just like obviously receptive to this thing with Liv Morgan, or else he would have done some of the things you said.
You said he was receptive. Sorry, you cut off for a moment there.
Sorry. Yes, he's receptive.
He looks receptive.
Yes. So I'm assuming that's why he didn't. He's probably into Liv Morgan being into him. You know, that's what I gather.
Yeah.
And yes, when Rhea comes back, it's going to create like this whole thing, you know, where the lady that injured her, and then now the guy that's into maybe both of them, or whatever the case may be. It's going to be like this weird triangle soap opera type situation, which can be good in wrestling sometimes if done correctly. You know, it just depends what they do with it, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, kayfabe-wise, it looks like he's into her then. Oh, man. Well, look, let me finish the rest of the story for the day. Then we'll get some thumbs up and thumbs down. That's a new thing we're starting this week for these angles. Thumbs up or thumbs down. I just want to know if you liked it or not. But anyways, Judgment Day had another thing later in the night with Braun Strowman. This is Carlito getting pinned by Braun Strowman. So Carlito lost, and then Judgment Day hit the ring because they're having a big feud with Strowman. And they're beating him down, and Strowman kind of beats all of them up, and Dominic tries to come from behind to hit Strowman with the chair, which was interesting because he's kind of doing a lot of physical activity here. I thought he had a broken arm or something, but he looks pretty good. And then when he's backing away and it looks like Braun Strowman's going to come and attack Dominic, Liv Morgan comes in and steps between them and stops him. And this leads to Judgment Day attacking Strowman from behind and beating him down with like a steel chair, which was a pretty violent attack. I'm not even showing the whole thing. That's when Liv Morgan has one last chance to coax Dominic Mysterio into her spider web, I guess.
Yeah, so like, and here
comes Finn Balor again.
Boy, oh boy, Finn Balor. Man.
Finn Balor's cock blocking Dominic. Well, he's supposed to be. He's doing what a good friend would do. Like, get out of here. No, this is not happening. All right, let me get some thoughts from Robert. You got a thumbs up for this segment, or a thumbs down, or a thumb to the side, I guess, if you're indifferent?
I'd say thumbs up. But just to comment on the earlier segment, because you guys listed the things that he should have done if he wasn't really into her. I'll add one more thing. One thing he should have not done to begin with, he should have not shown up to the ring. Like, why even go there to begin with, right? Unless you're really into her. Like, why?
She mentioned him. She was talking about the kiss and stuff. And the first thing he told her was, when Rhea gets back, when Mommy gets back, she's going to be pissed at you. So that's what he was trying to relay. But yes, you're right. He shouldn't even show up. I agree with that. All right. Well, what do you think of Liv Morgan, man? It's a pretty low-down thing to do, no?
Well, this is part of her revenge tour, and so far it's getting a lot of reactions, that's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of people
Vlad?
are interested in this.
You have been down on Liv Morgan and her wrestling and her character. This is going pretty well, man. This is using her to the max.
I guess this is the only way really Chrissy use Liv Morgan well is her being some sort of seductress. I don't know.
Well, that could be said for a lot of female wrestlers, but I think she's doing it well. I would see her doing this role better than a lot of other wrestlers could.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it a thumbs up, but I don't think it's like the best thing going. But it's all right. It's kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious where it all goes, and I definitely am interested when Rhea comes back. That will be really interesting. But for now, kind of interesting. But obviously, he's into it. You're telling me he can't move around this 115-pound lady, just like move her out of the side. Like even with one hand, I think if I was Dominic, I'd be able to move her out of the way if he wasn't into her. So obviously, this whole thing is setting up for him to kind of be with Liv at the end of it. Just smells like it.
Interesting. Well, yes, I'll give it a thumbs up too. I'm gonna move on to the next angle we got from Raw's Alpha Academy. Sami Zayn came out and he was again gonna try to convince the Alpha Academy guys who have been bullied by their leader Chad Gable, the heel Chad Gable at this point, obviously. And he's trying to tell them all, you don't have to be with them, you don't have to listen to him. And he was using himself as an example, right? Because I guess he broke free of the bloodline.
The bloodline.
Which I thought was funky in a way, but okay. He also had trouble leaving the bloodline. It took him so long until he finally was pushed over the edge to do it. But they sent Maxine out to read a message. Chad Gable wasn't there, but this was like a ruse. Like they were going to distract him from the front while he attacked them from behind. But yeah, they came out and read a note from him, which degraded them also. And this is, again, Sami trying to convince them. And this is where Chad Gable attacks him from behind. And he wants Otis to help him. Otis has got his arm cocked like he's going to punch him, but he doesn't end up doing it. He slaps Otis. Obviously, he's going to slap him. Maxine also begging him not to slap Otis, and he tries to kick them out. He tells them to get out of here. And then this is where Otis finally stands up to him. And that got a huge pop from the crowd. This is getting a reaction from the crowd, I will say. This is where Sami is going to attack Chad Gable from behind while Otis is distracting him from the front. And then Sami runs into Otis by accident, knocking off the other Alpha Academy members off the edge of the apron. And then this is where he has to choose. So basically the crowd is telling him, no, hit Sami or hit Chad. And then Chad's telling him, no, hit Sami. And then he grabs Sami in the end. And the crowd, again, a huge reaction. Big pops for this. So, very dramatic. And then Otis leaves with Maxine and Tozawa and carries both of them out, which is a ridiculous looking picture. And then I think Chad Gable gives him a kiss in the back a little later on because he finally came through for him. Otis finally came through and did something good. So anyways, all right. I'll start with Robert. You got a thumbs up for this or a thumbs down?
The angle, I'll give a thumbs up. It's just they keep repeating the scenario of Otis, like trying to think of, whether he should attack Sami Zayn or not. They've done this, I don't know how many episodes in a row now.
But this time Otis actually stepped up to him for the first time. And that's what got the crowd down. So yeah, it was a little different this time.
It was a little different, but I still think it's a little played out at this point. But as an angle overall, I still enjoy it. So I still have a thumbs up on this.
All right, Vlad, what about you? Thumbs up, thumbs down, indifferent?
Yeah, no, this is a thumbs up angle. But yeah, Robert made a good point, and it's kind of slow moving in the sense of like we're getting some development, but it's taking a little while to kind of come together because they kind of want to keep it going. But overall, it's good. As you said, the crowd is into it. I mean, the whole Otis, people seem to like Otis. I don't really particularly care for him. And the other members I could do with or without. I don't really care about, what's his name? Tozawa.
Yeah. Tozawa. You're right. Yeah. I don't even know why he's in this group, but yeah, okay.
I have no idea what the heck is the point of him. Obviously, Maxine, I don't mind seeing her at any point, at any time. She could be on screen. I don't mind looking at her, so that's great. Overall, yeah, the whole thing with Otis is getting a reaction, so you have to kind of see how it all plays out and where it's all going. But eventually, you would think that Otis is going to leave Gable because, I mean, how could he, unless he turns full-fledged heel himself, which I guess is possible, but you kind of don't really buy him.
Unless they could turn Chad Gable back to face, like if they bring him back, you know.
I doubt that.
That's not going to happen. He's doing the best work of his career as a heel. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I think it's just going to be what Otis decides to do and how they decide to do the thing with Otis. Because obviously this is still to further the feud with Sammy, who they want to get the IC title off of, right? So that's the whole point of this single. So we'll see. But so far, yeah, thumbs up, definitely.
I'm a thumbs up for this too, especially for the crowd pops. Two very big crowd pops when Otis stepped up to Gable, and then when Otis had the chance to choose between attacking one or the other and attack Sammy. That also got like a huge, like, oh my God, from the crowd. So I think this is working well. If it works well for the crowd, it works well. That I'll say. Even if I don't like something, if the crowd is eating it up genuinely and they're not just like a stupid Mark crowd who's like eating up like flips and like garbage wrestling, this is getting over because of the storyline. So I have to give this a thumbs up. Next one I'm going to jump to from Raw is Braun Breaker. The continuation of this angle that we've been covering is his introduction into the Monday Night Raw roster, and he's facing Ricochet today. Finally, some competition, as he called it to Adam Pearce earlier in the night. Not a jobber, but here's Braun Breaker. He was beating him up pretty good early in the match. Samantha Irvin is the ring announcer. She's Ricochet's wife, so they cut to her reaction. But yeah, Ricochet did get a counter in and then got some offense in. A couple of shots and a flip. But in the end, Braun Breaker wins with a spear, but he did take some damage. So after the 3 count, you'll see he holds his head. It wasn't so easy, but he did get a strong victory. And then after the match, he proceeds to attack him, to show the people, right? He wants to show everybody what he's got. So he's just being crazy, psycho, old school wrestler who's just going to beat everybody up just because he wants to. But security was very quick to come out this time. Very quick. So they stopped him from doing that same thing he did to that jobber with the steel steps. This led to Ilya Dragunov coming out and attacking him. So that's going to be the next match they're going to have. So 2 recent NXT guys are going to be in a program together, I think, next week. Yes. So that's that. All right, Vlad, what do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down for Braun Breaker's involvement in tonight's Raw?
Thumbs up again. So far those 3 angles have been pretty good. As I've said, I've always been curious what they're going to do with Braun, as he goes to the main roster. And so far, so good. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed him being like a crazy Steiner, if you will, kind of chaotic guy, just wants to beat up people if he doesn't get his way.
That was a Scott Steiner thing, yeah.
Yeah, so he's definitely a lot like his uncle right now, Scott, right? So it's going well. I'm curious to see where it all leads to, but they're doing a good job building him up so far. I have no issues with it at this point in time. So thumbs up for now.
Okay. Robert, thumbs up, thumbs down. Braun Breaker on Monday Night Raw from June 3rd.
Thumbs up. It's good to finally see him in a match that lasts more than a minute. But then again, I'm used to seeing that from him already when I watched NXT. He's had some good matches there, but when he jumped to Raw, he was basically like Goldberg, pretty much. It's like 1 or 2 moves, it's over, right?
Yeah, squash matches.
Yeah, squash matches. Finally good to see him on a Raw match where it wasn't a squash match. But yeah, they built him up well, and we'll see what happens from here.
I'll also give this a thumbs up. I think it was just a necessary victory for him. It wasn't so crazy like the week before with the jobber that he demolished. I thought was like a better segment, but I think this works too. So thumbs up for Braun Breaker so far. And Dragunov, I think it'll work. I don't think Dragunov is going to be buried in WWE. Even if he loses to Braun Breaker, I don't think it's so bad for him. I think it's good to make him a type of guy that's like very skilled and good, but is kind of an underdog just because of his size. So if he takes a loss here and there, it's okay because it'll just make people kind of feel sorry for him and root for him, I think.
There's no problem losing to Braun Breaker, but there might be problems if he loses to too many other people. I mean, it just depends how it goes for him. Losing to Braun Breaker, totally respectable. Losing to maybe some other people that they might have him end up losing to, we'll see how that goes. To be decided on that.
Good point. Good point. The last thing I'll mention from Raw was the closing segment. I'm not going to talk about the whole Rey Mysterio match with Damian Priest. It was a non-title match, but Damian Priest did end up getting the South of Heaven choke slam, as they call it, off of the top rope on Rey Mysterio, and that led to a victory. Some Judgment Day interference kind of distracted Rey Mysterio, but Dominic wasn't there. He had enough drama for the day. But here's Damian holding up the title belt, and then he got attacked by Drew McIntyre, his next opponent. So Drew McIntyre came in and gave him a future shock DDT and was getting ready for a Claymore when some Judgment Day guys came in. That gave enough time to Damian to come back and end up choke slamming Drew through the announcer's table. So Damian Priest got the upper hand to end the episode. So he's standing over Drew McIntyre with the title belt, and that ended Raw. Since we watched it, I guess I'll just get a thumbs up, thumbs down on their first physical encounter. What do you guys think of that? Robert, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I actually completely forgot about this segment until you showed it to me just now. I don't hate it. It's not bad. I just didn't remember it. So I will give this a
thumb to the side.
I'll give it a Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Oh, okay. Orange Cassidy thumbs up. All right, we got our first Orange Cassidy thumbs up on the Malapert Smark thumbs up, thumbs down reviews. Vlad, thumbs up, thumbs down for this physical altercation.
Yes, I also forgot, but not because I didn't like it. It's just because there's so much wrestling that goes through my mind throughout the week, and Monday seems like a couple of decades ago at this point. But,
I know.
No, but yeah. But so I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I've enjoyed mostly everything that Drew has been involved with since the whole thing. Since Punk came back and like what that did to his character, I guess it's been great. So I'm totally on board with everything that's going on with Drew. And I don't want to really add more to it than that because they're gonna have this match pretty soon, and then we can kind of see where everything stands.
Yeah, but I'll also give this post-match Afterbirth a thumbs up just because of the fighting. I think looked good. There were two big guys, and the way Drew McIntyre took that choke slam made Damian look really good because, here, I'll rewind it a little bit, Damian is the smaller guy, so Drew had to work for him a little bit, but see, the way he jumped up. Yeah, but he jumped up for him pretty good. Come on. See?
Sure.
I mean, come on. Damian's not going to pick him up like that. He really made him look great, though. So, yeah, I'll give the work a thumbs up, and I thought it was a good way to end it. I think since he has the numbers advantage with his group, he got the upper hand, and I thought it was a good first encounter. Let's move on to Smackdown, all right? This is from June 7th, a couple nights ago now, as we're recording. Robert hasn't seen any of this, so I'm going to introduce him to some of this stuff, run through it with him. Let's do the AJ Styles stuff first. That was the biggest angle from last week. Cody was waiting for AJ because, if some of you might know, AJ Styles faked his retirement last week, brought Cody out. They all had an emotional moment, hug, and then AJ Styles proceeded to fucking blindside Cody and beat the shit out of him and give him a Styles clash off the steel steps onto the freaking floor. So Cody is pissed. He's been waiting in the parking lot the whole time for AJ to arrive. This is when AJ arrives.
Hey, get in front, get in front. What are you going to do?
I'm going to pause this. There's AJ on top of the car, sticking his head out the sunroof, and he's saying, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? AJ just turned completely heel. Did a complete asshole thing last week, was completely in the wrong, and he's just saying, what are you going to do? What? That's freaking hilarious. And there's security there holding Cody back. So Cody's frustrated, and Cody, in frustration, turns around, walks the other way, and walks towards the ring. They start doing that long camera pan from the back to the ring that they like doing these days. So here he is, stomping to the ring. He grabs the mic, and he demands AJ come to the ring and confront him. So here's AJ coming out. Is this a new Titantron video or what? It looks a little darker. New music, I think. It's got the Good Brothers behind him. It's got some backup security. Gets in between them. Security. Nick Aldis is out here.
Do you think I care what you want?
AJ, here's AJ on the mic. Heel AJ. The newly heel AJ.
Is irrelevant to me. Look at you. You want to fight so bad. You want to fight me so bad. Oh, I tell you what, Cody. Give me what I want.
He wants that title shot. He wants one more title shot. He's forcing it somehow. Will this situation force a title shot? Well, actually, the answer is yes.
You don't want to fight now. You want to fight at Clash at the Castle. Is that what you're saying? That's what I want. You want a shot at the WWE Championship? That's what I want. 100% you got it. Ooh. But AJ, look at me. This isn't just any regular match. I'm not just gonna beat you. I am going to make you say what you should have said last week, and that is I quit.
Oh man, so it's an I quit match. Yeah, and Cody's emotions here are pretty realistic, like as to if somebody screwed you over like that the week before. It's what you would expect. Nick Aldis makes the match, gives the thumbs up. Cody tries to get at AJ through the crowd of security, but he can't. They hold him back, and AJ gets one cheap shot in with a phenomenal forearm while Cody's getting held
That's right. I just forgot about that part for a second.
And then he backs off and runs away laughing. And then here's Cody's angry face while he's getting held back by like 8 security guards. Good acting. Good acting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll start with Vlad since you've seen the scene first. Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm going to give this a Nick Aldis thumbs up. You know? No, this was very good. You know, I was happy. I'm happy for AJ. I'm happy for, well, Cody's going to be fine either way, but I'm happy for AJ because, as we said, they had a great match. Now they have a pretty good angle going.
Oh, this is a great angle. This is awesome.
This is very good. This is very good. AJ heel always, to me, works. I know everybody kind of sees him as kind of like this nice guy and stuff like that, but which he is probably in real life, and like a family man and whatnot. But he's kind of always worked as a heel for me.
Yeah, it's believable. I think it's believable.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed his heel work far better than when he's a face. I will say that this is a thumbs up angle. This is going to be another great match they're going to have. It's going to be an I Quit match, which I guess, I don't know if that automatically means it's going to be anything goes type of thing. Like, I don't know if that's what it means. I just know you have to like say I quit.
Of course it's anything goes. You got to bring like a fork and stick it in his eye or something. That's what Christopher Daniels did to AJ to try to get him to say I quit.
No, I know that they would do in AEW. They'd bring like some sort of like knife and put it to the guy's throat or something. I get that. But I'm saying what WWE's going to do is going to be a little bit different, you know? I guess we'll see. But yeah, you're probably right. It will probably be a no DQ match. I think both guys are doing a great job. Cody is obviously fantastic. Cody's probably the best wrestler in wrestling. Like, well, the best, like, when you put in the fact his character work and his wrestling ability, he's probably the best. Obviously, the best in-ring, I think, is Gunther. But Cody's the more complete package.
All right, Robert, I know you didn't see this scene live, but just from what I showed you and what you gathered, what is your sense of this? Did you like it or not?
Yes, and I disagree
Thumbs
with
up?
AJ. I disagree with AJ's shirt. We do want some. We want a lot of this. This angle has been phenomenal. So yes, I give this a big thumbs up for sure, even though I didn't see this as it happened.
All right, cool. Let me move on to LA Knight and Logan Paul because LA Knight wants that United States title. And he's been calling out Logan Paul and talking about it on the show that he's eyeing that U.S. title. He's fighting Carmelo Hayes tonight. This ends in a BFT attempt from LA Knight, roll up from Carmelo Hayes, had the tights, but LA Knight reversed it and rolled him up pretty tight. Got a nice victory over Carmelo Hayes. Interesting. Pretty comfortable victory, but makes sense. LA Knight's been getting the push, and Carmelo Hayes is new, but okay, so they sent him out there to lose. And LA Knight goes out, grabs the announcer's microphone, and gets on the headset for the television audience, and calls out Logan Paul, you know, says, since you don't want to show up to SmackDown, I'm going to bring SmackDown to you to save some time and just tell you guys what happened. But we did get a response from Logan Paul on this very night. They were like, I guess he recorded something at his house and uploaded or sent it to them somehow.
Yeah,
or
yeah, which he's done before.
real quick. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. He's a YouTuber. That's not out of the realm of possibility. The funny thing he said, though, he had a really hilarious line about LA Knight. First of all, he said that LA Knight doesn't deserve a title shot, that he's done nothing to get his attention. And he called him a catchphrase machine and a hillbilly-ass looking Aladdin. I was like,
yeah. That one I didn't get that one. He's from LA, so how is he a hillbilly? And then Aladdin, I don't know. Oh, okay.
You are a walking catchphrase in a denim vest, you hillbilly-looking ass Aladdin.
Hillbilly looking ass Aladdin. It kind of does look like a hillbilly Aladdin.
I don't get the Aladdin part.
I'm going to find a picture of Aladdin right now.
I don't think it really looks like LA Knight. I mean, I know what Aladdin looks like. I do remember the cartoon. Either way.
Does this look like LA Knight, guys?
No, I don't think so.
No, it doesn't.
Kind of does look like LA Knight to me. I thought it was a good line. Okay, whatever. I'm going to move on.
It was a good line. It just made no sense to me, but it was.
I thought it was a good line. And for that line, I'll give this segment, for this angle today with LA Knight and Logan Paul, a thumbs up. What about you, Vlad?
I think Logan Paul is great. I think LA Knight is also pretty damn good. He said something about like he should stick to the mid card. Don't come out here with the main eventers because you're not ready for all that. You know,
that was the last thing he said.
Right. I thought it was pretty good. Like Logan Paul gets how to be a heel. He knows what to say. I don't really understand how he understands all of this stuff that certain guys that have been in wrestling for like decades don't get. But I give him full props because a lot of guys don't understand wrestling psychology and how to be a heel and all this stuff. But he seems to get it, which I think is great for someone that's only been kind of involved in wrestling for like a couple of years and not even full-time. I mean, I think he's kind of full-time now, right? But he's still not at every show. He does like these appearances like for the main shows or when they go to Saudi Arabia or whatever have you. But
so for what like this was though, for the video he sent in and the LA Knight match, what do you think of this night's SmackDown?
It's a thumbs up, yeah.
I'll finish off the promo.
You hillbilly looking ass Aladdin. There's levels to this. You are not on mine, so go back to the mid card where you belong.
With everybody saying
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Robert, what's your sense of this scene?
All right.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
So for the angle, I'll give it a thumbs up. There's only one thing that I probably would have done differently, at least for this particular episode. It has to do with Carmelo Hayes. Wasn't he like the first pick of the first round of the draft?
Yeah,
I mean, and he lost on the very first episode of SmackDown that he debuted on, and then he's losing to LA Knight. Like, isn't the point of being the very first pick to look good?
This year's draft was very weird. It was very odd. The picks were very fucking strange.
I feel like maybe they could have probably chosen a different opponent for LA Knight for this segment. That's all I have to say.
Unless they're really not going to do much with Carmelo Hayes.
Right.
We'll see.
Which is also a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but did you have a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Yeah, this was still a thumbs up, yeah.
All right, me too. Thumbs up. Let me move on to the last thing from SmackDown that I want to talk about is the Bloodline business. They're feuding with KO and I guess the Street Profits from last week. Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. I'm going to summarize this for you, Robert, because it was kind of long. Paul Heyman's with them, obviously. There was an announcement that they were going to induct a new member into the Bloodline. Paul Heyman did acknowledge that Solo is going to be acting head of the table right now while Roman is gone. The tribal chief, if you will. He introduced Tama Tonga as the right-hand man.
The right-hand man.
I don't know about that nickname, but okay. And then Tonga Loa is going to be the infamous Tonga Loa. Here's Solo giving Tonga Loa a hug because he's in the Bloodline now, officially. Solo actually tells Paul Heyman, shouldn't you thank these two guys for saving your ass last week when Kevin Owens was about to attack you, which is true. Paul Heyman thanks them. He has to call them by their full names now, too. The right-hand man, Tama Tonga. And Tama Tama Tonga tell him that we could have let Kevin Owens devour you, but Solo ordered that he help Paul Heyman. This is going to get crashed right now by KO, who's going to hit the ring and go 1-on-3 against all these guys. And of course, it's going to lead to them getting the best of him. But that leads to the Street Profits coming in. And then the Street Profits and KO is enough to clear the ring of the 3 Bloodline members, which pisses off Solo. Because later on, or not even later on in the night, like a segment later, Solo tells Paul Heyman to go to Nick Aldis's office and get a 6-man tag for the main event tonight. Otherwise, Tama Tonga was going to beat Paul Heyman's ass or something, right?
Yeah, he said that's going to be the main event instead.
If you don't get this match, it's going to be you against Tama Tonga. So obviously, Paul Heyman did end up getting the match. So the 6-man tag does happen later in the night. But this was a DQ. Solo takes a steel chair to one of the Street Profits, and then they attack the Street Profits and powerbomb Kevin Owens through a table, and they end the show on top, the Bloodline, throwing up them ones. All right, Vlad, since you have seen this episode of SmackDown, I'm jumping to you first on these reviews, but I got to get a thumbs up, thumbs down, the Bloodline here on this episode of SmackDown.
This is always going to be a thumbs up for me, man. This is a thumbs up angle, too. I'm enjoying this. I can't wait to see where it all goes. Paul Heyman, so good. The guy is just incredible. I think he really does want to win an Emmy for his performances because he really is just like so good at what he's doing. The whole scared, can't talk, mumbling, the facials that he always has. So hilarious. So like perfect for his character. And everybody else involved is doing their part too. I don't know if like Tama Tonga and Tongaloa should talk as much. I think they should just be like those guys that don't talk and just like have somebody talking for them type of characters. That's just my only little, not really critique, but just like, that's only a comment that I would like say. If I was kind of booking this thing, I just have them talk way less. Solo could talk, you know, he's getting the hang of it, and he's actually pretty decent on the mic. But overall, thumbs up, thumbs up.
All right, Robert, thumbs up or thumbs down for this episode?
Just based on the highlights I'm seeing now and, you know, your review of it, this is really good. I would give this a thumbs up too. The Bloodline angle hasn't disappointed yet, even after Roman Reigns' hiatus. So far, so good.
A small criticism is when Paul Heyman kind of takes too long to say things and repeats things. But overall, that's very small.
I didn't
criticism.
know that there was that criticism, but okay.
It's just for me. I don't know. I think he kind of milks it a little bit too much, I think. But he does really good, though. So that's a small criticism. I'm still giving this a thumbs up. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm done with WWE for the week. I'm going to move on to All Elite Wrestling. Let's jump to Dynamite. From the 5th, I got MJF's return. How about that, huh? That's pretty big. Here's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, supposedly, according to some people, the best wrestler in the world. They have the best wrestler here on the secondary show on AEW, so he doesn't main event our show. He's at the end. If we have any extra time for our podcast, we'll talk about AEW. So if he wants to get promoted to like being one of the first things we talk about on the show, he maybe has to go to WWE someday. But for now, here he is. He's back in AEW. He made his return at the pay-per-view. This is his first Dynamite back and his first speech. Basically, that he's back and that he's the #1 guy, right? And he goes up and down the card talking about different guys that think they're the top guy now, but he's going to
Swerve,
Yeah. Yes, well, he started with Okada, I think.
I got one guy walking around saying he's the Rainmaker. Make a lot of money there, H. That's interesting because every time I look at his physique, it seems pretty apparent to me that the guy can't even afford a gym membership.
Oh, so he called Okada pudgy. Okada doesn't work out. That was his first jab. What else? I think the next guy who said was
he was swerving around.
Swerve, the world champion. So here he is addressing the world champion.
He was the leader of the Mogul Embassy. Hell of a leader, pal. Your entire group turned on you and whooped you. But that's not the part that offended me, folks. It's not.
Wait, hold on a second, Vlad. You made a face there. Didn't the same thing happen to MJF too? He had a group. The
I swear,
firm.
I said the same thing. I said this as soon as he said it. I'm like, dude, the hell are you talking about? That happened to you, bro.
Yeah, he's talking shit about Swerve Strickland getting turned on by his group. He had a group called The Firm for like 2-3 weeks or something, and they whooped his ass, and he never even gave them a receipt. But okay, that was a weird thing to bring up.
I think if he was going to take a shot at Swerve, he should have just said, like, the only reason you're over is because of your manager or something like that. That would have been better because obviously Nana is actually just almost as over as Swerve is, right? So.
That's not bad, Vlad. Yes. But he mentioned something about if you're a mogul, you're a businessman, and I think he criticized his English speaking or something. You must have gone to business school if you're a businessman, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Was kind of weak. That was his weakest insult.
He went at Will Ospreay too.
Oi! I'm the best in the world, bruv!
Okay, so he made fun of his accent.
That kind of writes itself, though.
You want to come on my show and lie through those disgusting, British, crooked, yellow-stained teeth of yours? Watch your tone and check your mouth. 'Cause silly Billy, you ain't the best in the world, bruv. I am!
Okay. He goes on to put himself over, talk about his detractors negatively in general terms. But whose music hit, Vlad, was Rouge to confront basically the best wrestler in the world. This badass guy from Mexico, former Ring of Honor champion. And
he murdered a guy in Mexico.
He did, yeah, because they were held hostage and they murdered all of them. Here's what Rouge said.
MJF! Much like all these stupid, filthy, ugly Americans, you never ever shut up!
Oh, that was a good one. Smelly Americans.
But listen well, perro.
Oh, this is good, bro.
Well, you've been gone. I've been here working hard, wrestling, winning, y rompiendo madres, cabrón.
Ripping mothers.
Wait, what does that translate to?
Ripping mothers, I guess. Maybe short for motherfuckers? I don't know.
Winning, y rompiendo madres, cabrón.
I think he means he's tearing people apart. I guess.
That makes more sense than ripping mothers.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
You come back and you get a big celebration. Where's my celebration? Where's my big moment? Where's my big moment? I did sell you a spot, so now I'm gonna take it. Because
here's his catchphrase.
With the bull,
when you mess with the bull,
you get the horn.
Okay. Did you get the horn?
Listen,
oh my God. Well, kayfabe wise, I like how he stepped up to the man. I think it's a little strange booking that Rouge is out here to confront MJF out of nowhere, but okay, I guess Rouge wants to have a prominent role on this show, so they're giving it a shot, but I think this is working here. But MJF has to respond here, and what does he say? First, he said he couldn't hear, so he criticized production on the show, said that the Elite are in charge now and things haven't been going well in production, he couldn't hear them.
I couldn't hear Rouge. Could you guys hear Rouge? I said, could you guys hear Rouge? Rouge, can you run that by us all one more time? I said, we don't give a shit.
This is not bad, man. This is good wrestling. At least for this opening segment.
Account look real dry. You know, dry, Rouge. Like every woman you've ever slept with.
Oh my God, that's not bad.
You know what? Hold on. I took it too far. I took it way too far. Hear me out. Hear me out, okay? I'm not gonna stand here and pretend I don't know you, brother. At one point in time, I paid you an exorbitant amount of money to take out Bryan Danielson. I know how talented you are. You come from wrestling royalty. Your father is a lucha libre legend.
Okay,
call you a
so
baby.
The thing that they do in AEW where they have to kind of put him over too, just to show that this isn't a waste of time, that you've done this. Okay, but I'm going to skip a minute of that and get to when he finally says the final insult.
I want to make sure that nothing gets lost in translation, so here goes it. Hey, cabrón! Chinga tu madre!
Oh my God.
I know what that means. I know what that means.
You said fuck your mom? Really? What is Roosh waiting for? Like, it took, okay, now he hits the ring, but 10 seconds he was standing there. MJF drops the mic and they go into a pretty good brawl. It looked pretty good. I think Roosh is a good worker. To me, this whole thing worked. I'm going to skip the line here and I'm going to give this a thumbs up. Kahan, thumbs up for this segment. How about Robert? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up. I like this
All
segment. The only thing is, the very first thought in my head when MJF showed up was, what happened with his scarf? Is he just not wearing it anymore?
It's on his back.
Okay.
No,
The back
I mean,
of his jacket.
The back of his jacket, yeah. If you see the back of his jacket, it's got that plaid design, like the scarf plaid design. I guess that's the remains of the scarf. Right now, he doesn't have the scarf. You see, there it is. The same design he had on the scarf. It's now in the back of his jacket with a wolf also, because I think he's a lone wolf now.
It looks more like that picture looks more like a lion to me, but okay.
I think he's selling Lone Wolf t-shirts on AEW shop. That's his new thing.
Right.
A little Star of David right there to accentuate his Jewism or Judaism or whatever.
Yeah, whatever is right.
Anything else, Robert? Points you want to make? How about Roosh? I thought Roosh was pretty good.
Yeah, I always liked Roosh, so he's a viable opponent, at least for MJF's first match, so why not? And I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm fine with all this. Let me jump to Vlad.
Yeah, no, this is not a thumbs up. It's probably somewhere in the middle. It's like, it's not completely down. I'll leave it like, more indifferent.
Okay,
and I'll tell you why.
You don't hate it, but you didn't love it.
Because it's Roosh, for God's sakes. Now, he was said in his promo that he's been ripping ass or whatever the hell you translated for us. But where has he been doing this? Because I haven't seen him on TV, maybe at all in any of the shows. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I actually do keep an eye on Collision and Rampage too. And you're right, I haven't really seen anything pronounced with him either.
Must have been on Ring of Honor, I'm assuming, because there's still the other show left. But
yeah, I lost track of that show too, man. I tried for a while, but yeah, you're right. Good point. Okay, so that's a little plot hole there. He wasn't being accurate with what he was saying in his promo.
So the whole thing that he's a viable opponent for MJF is, I mean, kind of ridiculous. But okay, let's just go with it.
Work-wise, that's a good worker and a good talker.
Yeah.
I mean, is he a good talker? I don't know. You can't. Can you say he's a good talker? You can't understand half of the thing he's saying.
I understood him.
But the parts that I do understand.
That's Cornette. I mean, I don't want to quote Cornette but he did have some great lines when it came to this stuff. He just said that it sounds like the guy has glue in his mouth. And when he did the whole, I don't know if you heard this, Gail, but when he did the bull and the horns thing, Cornette nailed the accent almost to perfection, to the point where I was laughing for 5 straight minutes, dude. So I don't know. I don't know if this is viable, if this is going to be good. Everything I've seen for Roosh tells me that it's not going to be good, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a chance. But so far, MJF's first angle back, definitely not feeling this. And this is going to be a problem, I think, for the remainder of his stay with AEW. Like, what the hell are they going to have him doing, dude? They already tried to ruin him last year. Let's see what they come up with now.
All right. Well, I like Roosh. I just don't think he's been set up well for this, and I also think he's going to perform well here, and I think he's not going to get a follow-up also. But I think skills-wise, I think he deserves to be in this type of spot. From what I hear, he's stiff in the ring. That's not my problem. I'm not the one to take the bumps off of him. I like seeing him personally, and I think his segments have been interesting. They didn't really finish that storyline of his group or whatever they were called, La Facción Ingobernables or whatever.
Group. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think what Kaelan just said was right.
La Facción Ingobernables. They were trying to do some storyline with them when Collision first started on TNT, and for a while they had like a vignette every week for them, and then they just, like AEW do so often, just forgot about it. I'm going to move on from this. Let's go to Elite business for the day real quick. The Acclaimed came out to rap, and they were talking shit about the Elite right off the bat. They call them EVPs, extremely vain perverts. and they got cut off by the Elite, and they were at Gorilla, I guess, controlling the show, and they canceled the Acclaimed match for the night. They just said, no, you're off the show for the evening. And they were pissed off. They go to the back, the Acclaim do, try to storm their office, and the Elite are there and saying, no, we're too busy.
Because we're not here to talk. We're just here to let you know that sooner or later, you're going to have to come face to face with us, and you're not going to like it.
No, but thanks, guys. Great show.
Yeah,
you guys are doing a great job. The company's awesome.
Oh, taking a shot at the company's struggles there. Yikes. Little work shooting there, but that's not really a good thing. But anyways, let me finish the Elite business. Christian is in the office with them inside that door, and he says he was screwed out of that match with Swerve, and he wants another title shot since he's friends with the Elite. But they tell him that they don't even have all the power anymore. That Tony Khan has shifted some of the power to Daniels, right?
And last week we tried to do that for a friend, and TK's little stooge CD had to walk right in and screw the whole thing up. Listen, we still have some pull here. We still have some stroke here.
We still have some pull. Oh my God, what is going on here, Vlad?
We're gonna be happy.
I think I'm gonna have to go thumbs down on this. I'm sorry, this is not working out for the Elite being the heel, not general managers, but executives who are in charge of the show. Now they're not even in charge of the show. Where's their heat? If now Daniels has the power to thwart them, Tony Khan has given Christopher Daniels power to stop the Elite from doing whatever they want to do. So I don't know what's going on here, Vlad. Thumbs down for me. How about you, Vlad?
2 thumbs down. If I had more thumbs, I'd give
2 thumbs down. The first ever 2 thumbs down rating from Vlad.
Yeah.
All right, you can do that if you want.
Yeah, even though I hate these guys with a passion, they've ruined this company. No one has done more harm to the business of AEW than these 2 jackoffs right there. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And anyone that disagrees, they can leave a comment, I guess. But that's just the way it is, guys. That's the bottom line.
Elite fans are not really listening to our show because we're not really covering.
Well, not specifically Elite fans, but from anybody from AEW disagrees. These 2 guys have ruined this company almost by themselves.
Hopefully, at some point, someday, it'll just run its course. Maybe they'll step down. Don't they made enough money? Like, have they made millions of dollars off this? Can they just retire and go live somewhere and have a nice life? But
what else are they going to be on TV on a week? Who else? What other wrestling company would let them be on TV every week?
They should do the right thing for the business and step down. But before we go all the way off on that tangent, I have to get Robert's review on Elite business for the day, the Acclaimed segment, and also the backstage thing with Christian. Thumbs up or thumbs down from you, Robert?
This will be my first thumbs down of the night. Well, first off, when the Acclaims were in the middle of doing a rap, I was like, finally, I haven't seen this happen in ages. I don't know why this hasn't happened in a long time, because that's like...
It hasn't happened in a long time because Max Caster messed up a rap on Collision. Like, he fluffed one where he fucking forgot the line and he stopped and the crowd went, oh, and he fucking totally fucked up. So they kind of gave up on it for a while until, I guess, this was the first one I'd seen since then.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, but anyways, this was the first one I've seen in a long time, so I was excited. Finally, I don't know where this has been, and then
but they only got one line in.
So right away, you asked where the heat was. To me, that's where the heat was.
Man, you're right.
That for me, that's where it was. But I was disappointed that I didn't get to hear more than like 2 lines, and that was it. Like, okay, and then the segment with Christian, I don't know, man. It was a little awkward for me. It didn't really do it for me either. So, yeah, this is my first thumbs down of the night.
All right, well, let me move on to the last thing I want to mention from AEW for the evening is Chris Jericho.
Oh, gosh. Can we make this one brief?
Oh, God.
You know what? For maybe the first and last time, I want to talk about this today. Let's talk about it, okay? What is going on here exactly? He's been criticized heavily amongst wrestling circles, amongst the critics, amongst the old heads, the veterans who have podcasts, fans. They've all been ripping into Chris Jericho lately. So is this like supposed to be his response? Like this sarcastic response? Does it mean he doesn't care? Is he trying to say, yeah, I hear the criticism, but I just don't give a fuck? I'm just going to act like this. Well, let me explain what happened on the show before we comment a little further. So Chris Jericho, lately, he's the learning tree. And so he's teaching everybody and he's giving advice about anything and everything. So he gets driven to the stadium and he tells the driver,
hey, listen, as the holder of a valid driver's license for over 35 years, remember, you're supposed to come to a full and complete stop at every sign. Don't ever forget that. Thanks, driver. Hi, guys. Hey.
So then more advice he gives to the camera guy about
shaky, Lonnie.
holding the camera steady.
Give me this camera. Look at this. You want to keep it straight. So a good job, but don't forget.
He runs into Daddy Magic in the backstage area because he's the new commentator on Rampage. Gives him advice on commentating. Cool Hand Ange is going to have a kid. Gives him advice about having kids. He sees a guy in catering just eating dumplings, and he walks up to him and has to give advice about how to scoop up dumplings.
As a guy who's been eating chicken and dumplings for many years, let me show you how to scoop it properly. You get it all the way to the top, then you put it in your bowl. That's the best way to dollop it out. Thanks, guys!
I think he's pretty much going after all these wrestling critics who think they know about wrestling and just want to give advice. He's saying, look, this is how you sound wanting to give advice nonstop and telling people this is how you should do it. This is the last one. He runs into Private Party.
I've been thinking I have some advice for you. As a guy who's been to a lot of parties, they're always more fun when they're not private. You should open your party up to everybody like I've opened up the Jericho Vortex. Everyone's invited. Maybe you should...
So he invites Private Party into the Jericho Vortex, but they do refuse. They say it's not their vibe. So this kept coming out throughout the night, at least 4 or 5 times in the back. So this is Jericho's response to all the criticism of him. Sarcastic and basically just judgmental of how these podcasters and critics are so critical. He's saying, stop it, basically. I think that's what it is. But I can't decide if I give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm going to throw it to Robert. Robert, do you have any comments on Chris Jericho here?
Big thumbs down. I'm really annoyed by this new gimmick and hope I don't have to talk about it anymore. Thanks, guys.
But do you have anything you want to expand on this, or no? Do you not even want to talk about it?
No, I'll talk about it. Look, it is kind of sad because prior to his stint with AEW, I think a lot of people would have said that he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Some people might even have him as the greatest.
I've heard some lists with him as the GOAT. I've heard some people say that from back in the day.
Sure.
But I don't know if anyone would say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said he was either way, but at least he could have been mentioned for sure. This stint with AEW, especially the last couple of years, has been so disastrous for him. And this is like the cherry on top of this whole gimmick. So when he's being criticized by a lot of these guys like Cornette, and I don't know who else is criticizing, I'm assuming maybe Conan. I don't really know. Maybe Kevin Nash. I'm not really sure who are these people that are criticizing.
Everybody, man. Anybody who has a podcast.
Sure. Okay, I believe that because I don't listen to every podcast, so I don't really know. But it makes sense. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if they're valid criticism, then maybe he should actually start paying attention. Like, okay, if they were just saying it just for the sake of saying it, I also just agree. I'd be like, dude, he's fine, he's doing well, whatever have you. But no, he's obviously not doing well. Nobody cares about him. People at AEW fans are saying, like, can you please retire? Can you go away? Can you get off our screens? That's not the type of heat you want. You don't want people to just be saying, like, get the fuck away, stop being on TV, that type of thing. So this is another 2 thumbs down. This is very embarrassing for him. Really the demise of Chris Jericho and his wrestling career. And it's not going well. That's the way I see it. I'm sure he thinks this is great and funny and cute, and he's sticking it up people's asses with this whole thing, and that's fine if he feels that way. Because if I was making his type of money, I'd probably feel the same way. You know, if I had a billionaire just paying me to do this type of stupid shit, great. But obviously, it's dumb. There's no way around that. It's terribly awful.
Well, maybe it really bothers him. This is his way of lashing out because everyone's nitpicking and it's so much content. Like everyone on every show is reviewing every single episode of Dynamite so in depth and so in detail. Maybe he's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Let us do our thing and stop fucking going so into detail about everything. Like that's him going up to the guy who's scooping dumplings into his plate and telling him how to scoop dumplings correctly. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter that much. Stop it. And I don't know. It was kind of funny to me when he was telling the guy how to scoop dumplings. I've been doing this for years. You're welcome. I don't know. I'm going to give this, for some reason, I'm going to give it a thumbs to the side today. I'm not going to give it a complete thumbs down.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Arguably, maybe the worst angle in story in AEW history.
Man.
How can that be to the side?
Just today's segment. Today's segments of him going around and telling Private Party they should be Public Party. Look at Roberts.
Well, I'm sure he's shocked, but
Robert's got that shocked emoji. Hey, that's cool. You could do that. Nice.
Yeah. No, that's great. But wait, my only thing is, okay, you're saying in Jericho's defense, kind of, that there's so much criticism and you should let them do their thing. But like, isn't that like the whole point of like these reviews and when people get criticized for everything that goes on in wrestling? It's been going like that forever. I don't know why AEW should be immune especially when they're putting on such terrible wrestling, you know?
No, I'm not saying they should be immune or people shouldn't be allowed to criticize them, but I'm just saying it seems like it's getting to Jericho. You could kind of tell that it's just a lot. It's just a mountain of criticism. I get one bad comment on our podcast here and I go rip on the guy. Like, these guys are getting like fucking tons of Twitter posts and everything, YouTube posts, and everywhere you could think of, there's criticism coming at them like an avalanche. So I'm just saying maybe it looks like it's getting to him. That's all I could surmise from this. And I was entertained by him on this day, but I do think the angle's not good. I do think it's a dud angle that they shouldn't be doing the learning tree, and they shouldn't be sucking down Big Bill into this. The other guy, Brian Keith, I don't care. He can be his stooge and lackey, but Big Bill is better than this. All right.
Big Bill, when he was with Ricky Starks, was looking like he might finally go somewhere and do something, and now he's stuck in this hell. You're right. Terrible for him.
All right, well, that's all I got that I want to really review in depth for this week. I mean, if you want a couple of other points from Dynamite, Swerve defended the title. The main event was a title defense against Roderick Strong, and he won. So he's going to be facing Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door, babyface versus babyface. I'm sure there's some way they can get out of that if someone interferes, or I hope they don't have like a clean booking and somebody loses. But knowing AEW, they probably might. And then the other thing that happened was that Toni Storm was at ringside for Mariah May's match, and Mariah May lost to Saraya. She got tapped out. And then Toni Storm came in to, check on Mariah May, her friend, and she got jumped by Harley Cameron and Harley Cameron and Saraya, the Outcast, I guess. And then that's when Mina Shirakawa came in, who has been stealing Mariah May away from Toni Storm, but they all became friends, I think. They seem like they're going to be like a threesome now.
A threesome, yes. Now that I can see, and I am for. I'm for that whole thing, yes. The threesome.
I don't know about threesome. It looked more like a lesbian love triangle happening in the ring, but okay, whatever.
It did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah, so that was other business for Dynamite that I just wanted to gloss over. I'm not really wanting to show clips of it or anything, but they had business for the international title. Rey Fenix is getting a shot next week because he won a 4-way. TNT title, they're going to have a ladder match for the vacant title at Forbidden Door, so they're having like qualifier matches for all that. And then other than that, I think Mercedes is facing that girl from New Japan, the Mexican girl who's the New Japan Strong Champion. And they showed a video package that I thought was pretty good that covered their history. And they fought before in Japan, so they showed that. Sure. For us who are saying that this Japanese stuff, we don't know anything about it, I thought they did a good job of reviewing some of it, at least. So that's my thought about that, but that's pretty much all I got from Dynamite. And then if anyone has anything else they remember from this week that they wanted to mention, now's the time. Otherwise, I'm going to close the show for the evening.
I think you covered. Yeah, I think you covered it all, my friend.
You think I was enough? I don't know. I skipped a lot of stuff from Raw and SmackDown. This, like I said, for the people who criticize our short segments, we don't have all day to talk about everything. God. Anyways, all right then. That's good enough for this week. Episode 114 in the books. Remember to subscribe, people. That's what we need. We need you to subscribe because we're trying to make money. We need money. For all you people complaining that we don't review the whole match, hey, maybe if we got some money off this and we didn't have to go to fucking our jobs, we'll just sit here and review wrestling for you all day. Fuck it. Why not? So subscribe. And also, you could log into our TikTok and Instagram. Sometimes we post videos there too, or shorter videos. And I share videos that I see from the wrestling world that I think are funny. on our social media, on our X too. All right, guys. Thank you for being on the show today, Vlad. I appreciate it. I thought it was a good show.
No problem, man.
Thank you for
Anytime.
your expertise. Yes, yes. And Robert, too. Thank you for being on the show this week. The Frozen Asian, very popular guy. Man, I'm telling you, Malapert Smark Hall of Fame. It's possible for you, man. It's possible.
Okay.
Just keep your nose clean, Robert.
All right, I'll try. I'll try.
All right, guys. That's it for this week. Thank you for being on, and we'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Later.